Now, we make sure that we take out all that we must take before they leave. And so this morning on Reason the Jesus app closed, I'm honored to host, a playwright, a columnist, children's book author, among many other things, Kobna Ansa on the show. Kobna, good morning.
Good morning, Fifi.
Can I call you Kobe?
Yeah, sure.
What's your nickname?
Way back in secondary school, I was called Raskobi.
Hey, what does if you're called Ras? It means you're doing Rasta or you're Rascal?
Well, I think every Kobi is a Raskobi somehow.
Okay.
I don't know, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You like reggae music?
Yeah. Somehow, yeah. Gospel reggae anyway.
I know. Kwame, now, good to have you join me. Let me start from here. I think somewhere last 2019, how many years ago?
About 4 years.
That's pretty much when I got to discover, if you like, know you. I think it was a post Uncle Bo White had made.
Yeah.
I said that one day when he's chilling in heaven, you
Yeah.
are the one who will be taking over. Well, that was like some big endorsement.
Yeah, so it was.
How was that feeling?
Well, it was great. But it made me understand that oftentimes, whatever we do in our small corners, someone is watching. Yeah.
So you were in the corner and he discovered you?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because I was doing my stuff. I didn't know he was even observing what I was doing.
It's not like you were even working with him.
No. We don't work together.
Oh.
Not at all. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like what you just said. Whatever you're doing, do
Yeah.
it well.
Yeah. Do it well because someone is watching. You never know.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like that. Walk me through your life. Let's talk about Rascal. Let's talk about childhood. How's life been for you?
Well, life has been good. I grew up in Dansoman.
Okay.
Yeah, my dad was working with Daily Graphic back in the day. My mom was selling in the market. I grew up with two other siblings. I'm the second. I have an elder brother. I have a kid sister, so I'm in the middle.
All right.
Yeah, I attended school at GBC. It's in Dansoman, Ghana Believers Church.
Okay.
Yeah, school. It's a school of the church anyway, so it's Ghana Believers Church School. Yeah,
Okay.
I attended primary and JHS in that school. And I continued to Koforidua Pope John Secondary School.
Oh.
Yeah, I read science.
Pojoba.
Yeah, Pojoba. Yeah, so all this. I wanted to be a medical doctor.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I went to school to read science in Pope John. From Pope John, I continued to Legon with the intention of reading medicine. But back in the day in Legon, you didn't read medicine right from level 100. You had to read biological science first.
Yeah.
The best students would be sieved out and then they would attend interview. And after the interview, they'll be shortlisted for the medical school. Yeah, I made it for the interview, but I couldn't make it for the medical school.
Ouch.
Yeah, so I had to come back. But before then I was writing the newspapers, I was writing on the notice boards and all that. But I didn't take it seriously because I knew that I was going to become a medical doctor anyway. And I wasn't going to need writing in any way. So when I was sort of bounced from the medical school, I came back to Legon and I took my writing seriously.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I started writing fervently on the notice boards. And everyone who read it would go like, wow, this is good. And so after university, I came to Legon to complete with biochemistry. So after university, I had to go and do my national service. I went to do my national service at St. Rose's Secondary School in Akutia. Yeah, I was teaching biology there. So that was 2011. Yeah, teaching, it was fun, but I felt that this was not where I had to be, deep within. I felt that emptiness, that writing was calling. I had to go and chase after my dream of being a writer. So 2015 I quit teaching and then I ventured into writing. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
The biology teacher.
Yeah.
But if you teach biology, you be shako.
Sort of.
Oh, wow, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the journey.
Yeah, that's the journey.
Interesting. Take me back there, even from child. I want to stay there. Did you come from a Christian home? When did you become a Christian?
So, yeah, I came from a Christian background because both parents were very say crife, should I put it? Sundays you had no option than to go to church. So I started. We growing up, I was really into church, and I think I got really born again when I got into secondary school. That's when I really understood the meaning of being a Christian. Yeah, and it's been a great journey. It's been a great journey. I've gone to grow in my Christian life, and it's had an impact on everything that I do, even how I see life. Yeah, because I've come to really know that life is really spiritual. and the spiritual is only the physical is only a playback of the spiritual. So
You want to explain that?
you see how we live in the day. Whatever we are doing in the day has already happened in the night.
Tell me about
Yeah, so oftentimes for us to be victorious in the day, we need to be victorious in the night. Yeah, so it means that if you are taking our prayer life seriously, it's going to have an influence in all other areas of our lives, our careers, everything. Yeah, so life is very spiritual, and the physical is only a playback of the spiritual.
I see.
Yeah.
You better take your evening or your night seriously.
Yeah, because it influences the day so much.
Okay.
You have no idea of. Yeah.
Well, we'll delve deeper into all of these. What do you call it? I won't say what I was going to say, but all of these revelations. I think that sounds better. Revelations, yeah, that you have started sharing already. So, did you backslide along the journey? Did you switch more?
I don't quite remember. Yeah, because I've always been the calm guy. I always love to stay at one place. If I'm not, I'm the shy type. I actually grew up being very shy. Yeah, I think writing actually brought out the extrovert in me because growing up I had always been indoors. If I have nowhere to go, I'm always indoor, either reading or watching TV. Yeah, so I spent most of my life with myself.
Okay.
Yeah, so there was no opportunity to join bad company or anything like of that sort. Yeah, so
don't want him. Like
yeah.
I see. Parents like children like that. Don't want him. Always indoors. Out of curiosity, let me ask you: when you didn't get a chance to go to medical school, did you think God had disappointed you?
Yeah.
Oh, God!
Very much. I cried. I cried, and I was like, God, I really prayed about this, and I thought this was what you wanted me to do. You disappointed me, because I had dreams that I was wearing lab coats and all that.
Oh, Charlie!
So you can imagine the disappointment, and coming back to school to know that you did better than someone else who had gotten a chance into a medical school, and you feel so disappointed. But I never knew God was actually directing my steps.
That's where I'm coming.
Yeah. Yeah.
So all was to direct you here.
Yeah.
How do you know this is what God wanted you to do?
So when I started writing, and even up to now, the messages I do get oftentimes about the impact that my writings have on people, I'm amazed. I'm like, would I have gotten this? Would I have been able to make this much impact if I was a doctor? I don't know, but it's so amazing and so humbling to come to understand that what you wrote made someone rescind their decision to divorce, or what you wrote made someone rescind their decision to kill themselves.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so it's always humbling to come to the knowledge that some way somehow what you are writing is having an impact on people. And I do have calls from so many people every time, and you see, I write in the mirror, and I noticed that. Which
one? The one in the washroom?
No. the mirror newspaper.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, so you see, and I got to know, I've gotten to know over the years that it's often those above 60 who read the newspapers, because those are people who often call me.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just a few people who are below that age who would call you, but oftentimes it's those who are retired or in their 70s, 80s who would read and call you and tell you that, wow, it got to the point that people even thought I was an old person because of the stuff I used to write. And it's like I said, it's so humbling to get to know that whatever you write has an impact on someone out there, no matter how you write it or no matter how you even feel. Sometimes something you are going through that you want to write to encourage yourself, but somehow it's like encouraging someone else. Wow. Yeah, out there. Yeah. And
out of curiosity, you said that most people who read are above 50. For those who are 60, for those who are, why is that?
I don't know, but
boredom or.
I think it's because of the times that we are in. I think the younger people prefer to read on their smart devices and all that, and the older ones are still sticking to the newspapers. Yeah, so it tells us that still,
print media is still working.
Yeah,
interesting.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for sharing that. We'll get into all of that as we carry on, right? So I wanted to stay with you on writing. You mentioned your father worked at graphic.
Yeah. So you see, growing up, newspapers were kind of a daily thing because. Every time he'll bring the newspapers home, you read it. After he'll tell you to write to the editor. Okay. And that was how I somehow cultivated my habit of writing. I think among my siblings, I was the only one who was able to really take this far because I think back in the day I even won a competition in the newspapers.
Wow.
Yeah.
For writing.
Yeah, for writing. So I was really, really into writing because of the habits of reading newspapers that my dad used to bring home. Yeah, and I think that really has influenced my career now because if I was not exposed to that environment, that kind of environment, I don't think I would be doing what I'm doing now. So I always tell people that the kind of environment we expose our kids to influence them in so many ways.
Wow.
Even their career choices. Because you know that, for example, a child who is living in a very remote area can never dream of being an astrologist because they've never seen something like that before. So it's all about the environment. The environment that we're exposed to influence how we think about life, our perspectives, our careers, everything. Oh, it's all about environment.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we should encourage our children to read.
Yeah. To be exposed. Because I always tell people that reading is a traveling experience. Because reading is the only experience that you can travel without a visa. Yeah, because it takes you to places you may never be. It takes you to people you may never meet. It's all through reading. Yeah, so if your children are not reading, you are really depriving them of a lot. And even if you are not reading yourself as a parent, you're also depriving yourself of a lot.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's a man who was teaching biology. I wouldn't say he abandoned it, but it's like he moved on to now, if you like, further his dream.
Yeah.
And you feel this is what God has called you to
Yeah.
do. You're a playwright. What does that mean?
You see, I spoke about what my column even does to people. The place is even more than that. Because I do touch on very serious issues through my plays. I wrote a play on LGBT. Yeah, and I think I'm the first playwright to do that in Ghana, in our space here. Because it's a topic that you don't talk about. But I took that topic and took it from a Christian perspective. If you're a pastor and your son comes to tell you that I'm now gay, as a pastor, what do? Are you going to disown your child? Are you going to say that okay, it's fine? But you know, so it's this can happen to anybody out there. So I take some of these experiences and put them on stage for people to come and watch and learn something from it. And at the end of the day, the main lesson that was in that play is that correction is different from condemnation. We should try to correct people. We should not try to condemn them. You see, anytime you are correcting someone, you are making them know what is right and what is wrong. But when you're condemning them, you don't show them what is right and what is wrong. You just tell them what is wrong, and that's it. At the end of the day, we make enemies of people we condemn. But when we correct people, we win them to our side. And that is what I try to preach with that play. So you see, I try to see my gift as an assignment. I believe that my gift is an assignment, and it's an assignment to the world. And all the time, every gift that God has given to anyone, your gift is a pulpit. You may never get the opportunity to be on a pulpit in church, but the gift you have is a pulpit, and you can preach through that. So don't wait to get to church to preach. Whatever gift you have, you can preach to people through that gift. And that's what I try to do all the time. So anytime I'm writing, the main aim is that it's an assignment, and it should be able to impact on someone, to make them change their perspectives about things that they've grown up with. You know, so
wow.
Yeah.
So, you know, your gift brought you here.
Yeah.
I just thought about it. Your gift brought you here. But that LGBT play you did, how was it received?
After I had staged it, some people from that community thought that at long last they've had someone who was going to speak for them. But they came to see it, and after one of them called me and told me I'm homophobic.
What does that mean?
That you hate gays.
Oh, Dama.
Yeah. But that is it, as a writer, you write what you want to write and leave people to take it from their own perspectives. Yeah, and as a Christian writer, of course, I can never endorse it. So anyone who is not a Christian, or who doesn't think that this should not be encouraged in society, will think that then you hate gays. But that is really not it. Yeah.
You sound like you are I don't know why today I have some crazy words coming through my mind, but I will stay with, you sound like you're adamant with regards to what you stand for.
Yeah.
Unshakable.
Yeah.
You are.
I don't compromise.
You are a Christian
Yeah.
playwright.
Yeah. I don't want to call myself a Christian player because I write on so many themes which are not even Christian themes. But at the end of the day, I make sure that anyone who reads whatever I write will know where I'm coming from.
Wow.
Yeah.
What influences you?
I think
who influences?
I think my biggest inspiration or influence should be the Holy Spirit, because he's the one who gives me the ideas that I write on. Sometimes an idea just, it grips me. You know, I'm so filled with that idea that once I write on it, I'm not comfortable. Yeah. And in our last play, I wrote songs for the play because I wanted to depart from the normal where we stage plays and sing other people's songs. So I wrote songs. I wrote about 14 or 17 songs for the play.
You?
Yeah, I wrote them all myself. And you know the interesting thing about this, it's all about the Holy Spirit that I spoke about early on. I don't play any instrument, but when I sit down, I hear someone singing a song, and I just take my phone, I just record what I'm hearing, and then it becomes a song in the play, and that's how I wrote all the songs.
Really?
Yeah.
I know you got married recently, yeah?
Yeah, I got married about 3 years ago.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Does your wife sing?
No.
Okay. So who has been singing?
Yeah, so I just hear it. I just hear someone sing, and I know that's the Holy Spirit, because I prayed about this, that God, I can't play an instrument, and I want to write songs for my plays. So help me. So sometimes in my dream, even in my dream, I hear someone singing. I wake up quickly, take my phone, and record it.
Really?
Yeah. And that's how I write my songs.
No doubt you believe this is the will of God for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dr. Covenant. Yeah. So, how many plays have you written so far?
I've written about eight original plays. Yeah, 8. The last one was an original play, which had all the songs in the original songs, and that's what I want to do going forward. All my plays, I want all the songs to be original. Yeah.
So you left school, Akwetia, you said.
Yes, in Shoulders, Akwetia.
And then you started writing as a columnist for Mirror.
Yeah.
And then one day you said, no, I can write stories for people to enact it.
Yeah. So I wrote my first play in 2015. So when I was in Akwetia, I did my first play when I was still a teacher. And I noticed that traveling for the play, because Akwetia is quite a distance from Accra. And during or before the play happens, there's a lot of rehearsals. And I felt that if I were a parent, I wouldn't love my teacher, the teacher of my child, to be traveling around doing his own stuff when he had to be in class. So that also influenced even leaving the teaching field. So in 2015, I said my first play, This Family Is Not For Sale. Yeah, we did it at Legon, the drama studio. So the same 2015, so that was the season 1. The same 2015, we did season 2 of the same This Family Is Not For Sale, because I was looking at doing a serial stage play where we would talk about the same story in different series. But I noticed that it wasn't working. So the third play that I wrote was I Want to See God.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, so I Want to See God was my third play, and then I came to my wife-in-law, and then other plays until the recent one, which we did last year, which was Once Upon a Radio. Yeah, a National Theatre. And where there was light off for over 3 hours.
Oh. Before the play could start?
No, in the middle of the play.
You don't say?
Yeah.
So what happened?
Yeah, that experience changed my life.
No, tell me. So what did you do?
You see, we started the play about 30 minutes into the play, and then all we could see that there was power outage.
Wow.
Yeah, for about 3 hours. We were stranded. We didn't know what to do.
And the audience were there?
Yeah, and most of them left.
Oh.
Yeah. And those who were coming also left, So by the time the power was restored, it had even eaten into the second show. So we just had to start. Yeah, and that experience really changed my life. It really changed my mind about a lot of things.
And come if you are.
Oh yeah, yeah, but yeah, what you do?
Wow.
You move on. And that yeah, you see, even having the strength to even continue the play was something, and that tells you that God is behind whatever we are doing. There's that unseen hand that is pushing us to do what we do, because it was natural, or it was normal for one to just quit and say that after all this, let's just end the day. But we continued. The team moved on as though nothing had happened. People came to watch the second show. They didn't even know that there had been power outage for over 3 hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is the tenacity for me.
Yeah.
We got to do it all the same.
Yeah. No, even if there's just one person showing up for the play must go on. The play must happen, no matter what. Yeah.
Who inspires you in this regard?
Yeah, of course, our Uncle Ebo inspires me a lot with what he does. Yeah, it really gives us hope that there's future for what we are doing. Yeah, aside that, I think every person hustling out there is also an inspiration to me. That no matter what you have, no matter how little it is, just put in that excellence. At the end of the day, it's going to flourish.
I see.
Yeah.
Given the chance to speak to the government, even though this is a private production, is it? What would you think you need the government to help with people like you and what you do?
I think we need more theaters. We need more theaters in the country, because as long as it's just one theater, a standard theater in Accra, there's always going to be that monopoly. And people are going to treat you as though they are giving you an opportunity to come and do stuff there when you're actually paying for it. So I think that there should be more theaters, not just in Accra, even in all other in all the other regions. Yeah, we need a lot more theaters.
How about the churches?
You see, the churches. Anytime a place is not built to be a theater, when you want to have your events there, which is a stage play or a theater program, you need to modify that venue to suit a theater style.
Okay.
And that comes with its own cost. You see, and because what we are doing is not only for Christians, even marketing a stage play at the church becomes even it comes with its own hurdles. Yeah, because people think that anytime an event is in a church, it should be a church event.
Right.
Yeah, but once what you are doing is not just for the church audience, they want to do it somewhere outside the church, so that anybody can also walk in, or everybody can walk in. Yeah.
Well, thanks for sharing that. How do you raise support? How do you make money?
Yeah, so all my plays are self-funded. Yeah, they are all self-funded, with support from a few friends, but basically self-funded, and then with a few sponsorship. Yeah. But
wow.
majorly it's self-funded. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing this.
Welcome.
I just had to build the conversation because, well, I'm now looking at children's book author. And
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to... I was just building the conversation here.
Yeah.
So now we know who you are, what your interests are, why you're doing what you do. Now, I remember that I had seen a WhatsApp post from you, and this is what struck me. When you wrote the 5 effects of sexual abuse of children, it hit me like that. I'm like, whoa, we're dealing with something in this month. It won't be a bad idea to bring you on so we can talk about it. And then I noticed that you had authored the book, Nimunyam and the Queer Man.
Yeah.
Right. Now, let me just stay here a little bit. Why children's book author? Why?
So we have a child called Nimunyam, my wife and I.
Oh, congrats.
Thank you. And when he was about to turn 1, we felt that we had to, like every normal parent, you want to throw a party for a child. But we also came to the realization that if you throw a party for a child, they are also going to enjoy it. The child is never going to enjoy it.
You see pictures.
Yeah. So we decided to leave a legacy for that child.
Okay.
So we decided to write a book for him. Yeah. So when he turned 1, we wrote his first book for him. That's Enyunyam the Bully Stopper, talking about bullying. We wanted all the books to talk about abuse, because we felt that child abuse is an issue that has not been touched on enough in our society. So the first book talked about bullying, and then he turned 2 this year in August. And then so we had to write another book for him because I want to do this yearly. Every year we write a book for him on his birthday, or we write and launch a book on his birthday, so that when he grows up, he'll grow up to see all these things and even take up writing of the books himself.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's the whole
if
idea.
He doesn't want to be a doctor.
Well, so this year we were tackling the topic child sexual abuse.
Why?
Why? Because there's an issue that we haven't spoken about enough, and we have no idea the effect that it has on society. You'll be amazed. There's research that shows that out of every 3 girls, one of them will be abused sexually by the time they get to 18. And out of every 5 boys, one of them will be abused before they get to 18. And one effect of child sexual abuse is that most of the survivors grow up to be very promiscuous. Yeah. Aside that, most of them grow up to be very suicidal. Most criminals, most drug addicts we have in society are people who have gone through some of these things, some of these abuses. It means that if we're able to tackle this abuse at this age, we're going to have our children grow up to be very different from who we are today. Because most of us today working are broken pencils. We are broken in so many ways. And that is what is affecting even our nation building. Because you have people growing up to be so dishonest and so bitter about life because of the experience they've had during their childhood. So if some of these experiences are tackled now, at least they'll grow up not to have the experience that we had back in the day, where we could not talk about sexual abuse, you cannot even talk about sex in the first place, So yeah, that's why we wanted to tackle child sexual abuse this year.
So this is like a family agenda.
Yeah.
Does your wife write you?
Yes, she does somewhat. So I write, she looks at it, and then together we agree that this what should go or this should not go and all that. Yeah.
Okay. So what are you hoping this book does? I mean, what's in the book? What's inside?
So we want to change people's mindsets about child sexual abuse. You see, we are in a society where when a child reports sexual abuse, we say the child is a bad child.
I know, right?
We're in a society where when a child goes to the police station to report their child their sexual abuse, the police ask them silly questions. Were you in short skirts? Were you what
It's not part of the evidence.
You see, so we want this book to be able to change our mindset, to be able to empower children so they can speak out. Many children are out there today not being able to speak out about their abuse because even their parents will shut them up. Yeah, and this is a really serious issue. Sexual abuse. And you see, when I wrote this and I put it out there that we're going to launch it, one of my friends who is a lady told me that she can't attend the launch because this issue is a trigger topic for her. Yeah, because she's been abused as an adult, not even as a child, as an adult. And anytime she hears people talking about this, it triggers all the memories that she had on that fateful night. So this is an issue that we need to be able to tackle head on. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And empower children to be able to speak about them.
Child abuse, sexual abuse.
Yeah.
Okay. Walk me through the Indonian story. And you
So-
said in a queer.
Yeah.
Honestly, Abedi.
And the you see,
In Pidgin, queer is small.
queer, you see, queer there means weird.
Okay.
We've grown up to now understand some words in different ways. Now, if I come to even sit here wearing a t-shirt with a rainbow in it, now everyone thinks I belong somewhere. But we grew up knowing that rainbow means something in the sky. That brings good fortune. But now rainbow means something else.
The covenant from God.
You see, but now rainbow has been made to mean something else. It's the same with queer. Queer means weird. That's what we grew up with. Now, but now queer means something else. And that's what the queer in that title means. Weird. So in Munyam and the weird man, simply. Or in other words. And I intentionally use that word to be able to make people know that there's this other meaning to this word that we don't even know about. But we've been able, our mind has been repositioned to think that anything that is queer belongs to something else. But that is not what it should be. Yeah. So in Munyam and the queer man, the story is talking about a child who goes to visit his friends on vacation, and then he notices that there's a man out there who is always very friendly to the children, always giving them toffees, always giving them so many goodies. But there's this child among the friends who says that this person is a bad person. But all the children don't know. They think that this guy is a very good guy. And anytime the children go to his house, that's where he abuses them. And after he'll give them toffees that don't tell anybody. If you tell this person, I'm going to do this to you. You see, anytime there's child sexual abuse, there's always a threat. And that is why when we do empower children, they will never be able to tell us. Even when we are their parents. Because anytime an adult abuses, and you see, the abusers of our children are not strangers. They are people they know.
Wow.
Yeah. Anytime someone is abusing a child, they are very familiar with that child. And so it makes it very difficult for a parent to even believe when that child comes to them and say that, uncle, this is doing this to me. They'll say, no, you are making up stories. No, the child is not making up stories. Children don't lie. So anytime a child is bold enough to come and tell us this, we need to take whatever they are saying seriously. So in the story, eventually, Monyam is able to discern and know that this person is a bad person, and eventually they set that person up, and then the police come in to arrest him. Yeah.
Wow. The uncle, no?
Yeah.
Who was giving toffees?
Yes, giving toffees to all the children in the neighborhood. They all liked him and all that, but he didn't have a good intention for them.
Wow.
Yeah.
How do we empower our children to be able to report such?
You see, first of all, we need to be able to create that environment at home where our children are able to talk about anything and everything. Because growing up, if I ask you, how did you get to know about sex? Of course, it wasn't from your parents, right?
My father is listening.
You see, you got to know it from your friends and from any other place, but not from home. But I think that this is a topic that we need to tackle from home. Because if you don't give your children the right sex education, others are going to give them the wrong sex education. Yeah. If you don't give your children the right sex education, others are going to give them the wrong sex education. And trust me, you not like what they're going to, the kind of education they're going to give them.
Is it not a culture issue?
Yeah, it is. Very much.
Charlie, you know, Afro, you know, but the world has changed, right?
I don't think the world has changed, but I think it's because of how we were brought up. Yes, yeah, because of how we were brought up. Because we think that sex is an abominable topic, but I don't think it should be, because if you're able to tell, during after I learned the book, I engaged schools about this topic, and you ask the children, what are your private parts? They don't even know. One of the children said, my head is my private part.
What is inside is private.
Yeah, you see, so it tells you that our children don't know enough.
Oh no!
But we need to teach our children some of these things. When you say sex education, doesn't mean it's not what you are thinking about. Sex education simply is teaching your child about their body parts, teaching them what no one needs to touch on their bodies and all that. That is what we are talking about.
We are afraid, aren't we?
But I don't think we should be. I don't think we should be. Yeah, because if your children, you know how much your child knows, will tell whether or not they can be abused. Because the abusers take advantage of the ignorance of our children. They take advantage of their ignorance and get to know that, oh, this child doesn't even know this. Because if I'm able to tell my child that if anybody touches this of yours, come and report to me because it's an abuse. Then if someone is able to touch, because you see, the abusers don't just abuse the children, they groom them. That's what we call grooming. Every abuser grooms a child so that they get to the point where the child doesn't see anything wrong with what they are doing. So they prepare the mind of the child. Sometimes they'll touch their private parts in a bit, but not abuse them. Gradually they gain the confidence of the child, and then they cannot abuse that child. So if you've been able to empower your child to know all these things, immediately it starts, they're able to tell you. Yeah, but our children are ignorant about all these things. They grew up thinking that this is an abominable topic to talk about. They talk about it with their friends, but not with their parents. Eventually, their friends even teach them things that they should not do, and they try to do it. You see, so this is a topic that we should not take lightly in our society, especially if we want to tackle this thing called sexual abuse. Yeah.
Kobina Ansah is my guest this morning. So Kobina, you're saying that if I've got two girls at home,
yeah,
I call them early in the morning. Should I call them at dawn? When they wake
Well,
up at dawn,
that depends on you.
I want to teach you about. I want to talk to you about.
Maybe you see,
how do we
I
approach it?
think that the easiest way to go is ask them what they know about sex. And it's amazing what your children know about sex that you don't know. But you see, that is a shocker. That is a shocker when you get to know what your children know that you don't know. What you yeah. Even your children don't know this, and they'll tell you, "Oh, Daddy, we know this, we know that." Oh, come on, you think we didn't know this? You see, so that's when it gives you the opportunity to teach them the right thing, to tell them that, okay, you know this, but it's not right. This is the right thing, So you try to teach them, try to guide them. It gives that alone gives us the lead to be able to have this conversation with them. And trust me, it would be so great for parents and children to have this kind of conversation. Yeah, it even bonds them better, because your child is not able to hide anything from you. Because once you've broken this barrier with the talk about sex, trust me, they can be able to discuss anything with you. They can, and they will.
Wow, you must be at a level of conversation free with them to be able to perhaps get them to talk.
Yeah, because of course, if you are a dad or a parent who is always shouting at your kids or screaming at them and not giving them the opportunity to even view air their own views and all that, then you can't even have this conversation.
Wow,
you can't have this conversation.
At what age must you start having this discussion with them?
Have this. Ideally, you start having this discussion when your child becomes communicative, when your child is able to talk or is able to understand you when you talk. So that's even around age 2, 3.
Hey.
Yeah, very early.
What is it, mama?
So you see, you start this conversation by teaching them their private parts and public parts. You see, that is the beginning of the conversation. You enlighten them.
Wow.
Yeah. And as they grow, we should have there's no end to this conversation. It's continuous. Every time we should have this conversation. Every time. And once our children become so comfortable around us having this kind of conversation, teenage pregnancy will drop, STDs will drop, so many things will drop, because our children have been able to build that confidence with us. Because a child always talks about this with someone they build confidence with. Yeah, someone they trust in. And if your children are not able to have this conversation with you, first of all, you should know that your children don't trust you. Or they're not able, they don't have that confidence in you that if they have this conversation with you, you not shut them up.
Wow.
Yeah.
The advent of technology, phones and all of that now.
That is even bringing this conversation to our children every day without our knowledge.
So how do we seize the phones?
No, you don't. But if you teach your children the right thing, they are guided. They are guided. So if your child sees pornography, they'll know it. If they see whatever that is not Christian, they'll know it, because they've been guided. That's why the Bible even said that train your child in the way that they should
go, so when they grow, they will not depart from it.
It's a training, it's a guidance. When you've guided your child, when they're alone and you're not with them, because of course you can't be with your child 24/7. If they're alone, then all that you've guided them in becomes practical now. They're not able to practice it.
Someone says, I pray for my children. Is that not enough?
It's not enough. It's good. It's great to pray for your children. But trust me, the world that we are in is not enough at all. Because, we can't leave this conversation to the schools. Because they can't have it as they should be. Because, when I started going around the schools to talk about this, I saw how uncomfortable it is when people talk about private parts. Even teachers. Yes, so it means that you can't leave this conversation to the teachers to have it with your children. You should be able to take the lead to have this conversation with your children. Teach them the right thing, so that they are not no one takes advantage of them with their ignorance as well.
Wow. Yeah. Teach them about
sex education. Yeah.
Should you teach them in English or look at that?
Well. You teach them in any language that you are comfortable with, or at home you speak. Yeah, that's. I think there's no specific language this can be done in. It's all about the language both of you are convenient speaking.
Yeah. So for those who have been abused,
Yeah.
unfortunately,
Yeah.
how do parents handle this? Because there are people who have been abused, but they still have not been
Yeah.
able to tell their
Yeah.
parents. Are we able to identify it? I mean, like, how do we handle it?
You see, like we're talking about, if you've not created that favorable environment in the first place, your child will never tell you. They'll grow up with it, and then they'll become adults, and then you think that your child is so perfect, but you have no idea what your child has gone through. You see, so if there's no environment in the first place, this can never be spoken about at home. But at this point, what a parent can do is that let's try to be very friendly with our children. Especially if you have teens, if you have children who are 10, 9, 7, 8. Of course, you didn't have that opportunity, but try to give your children the opportunity. Because that's what parenting is all about. Giving your children the opportunities that you never had. Yeah. So try to be friends with your children. In the days that we are in, if you are not a friend of your child, seriously, you have no idea what you'll be missing out on. Because a child may be enjoying so much. No, now abuse even happens in schools. We thought that the school was a safe haven, but now even in schools, teachers are abusing children. Yeah, so the child is not safe anywhere. And as a parent, you need to take hold of this conversation, take the lead. Yeah,
Charlie. You know, just I see time is just running like that. I'm trying to pull out that research that you shared. 5 effects of sexual abuse of children.
yeah,
And it says, let me read what I see. According to the Advocacy Center, 1 out of 3 girls and 1 out of 5 boys are sexually abused before age 18. I guess what some effects of sexual abuse of children are. Sexually abused children often end up as promiscuous adults. There's a source to it. So survivors daily have suicidal thoughts. Some criminals have a history of abuse, especially sexually. Sexually abused children have the tendency of abusing drugs in future. And then this one says survivors have low self-esteem.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So there are so many. You see, I was recently watching an interview of a lady who got into prison, and she was saying that it was all because of her history of child sexual abuse. Because she was abused sexually as a child, and she grew up trying to find something to soothe her pain, and so she got into many relationships, and one of them led her to prison. Yeah, so it has rippling effects. It has long-term effect that we don't even know about, and that's why we need to halt it now. We need to be able to talk to our children about it. We need to educate our children so no one takes advantage of them in any way and in any form.
Good morning. I'm Hamdia and a Muslim. I must admit I'm loving your interview with your guest. Very educative. Thank you very much. May the Almighty Lord bless you and your guest. I want us to look at this nationally. I mean, you are a voice. How should we tackle this nationally? Any advice to share?
Well, it all comes to the conversation, beginning that conversation, because talking about a national approach to this. First of all, I'll suggest that in our schools there should be a compulsory topic on some of these things, not just sexual abuse, but even all other types of abuse. You see, I never thought bullying was even such a topic until that disco thing happened recently. There was an abuse in at discos. One student bullying the other student. We think that bullying was supposed to be something that was extinct, but it isn't. So abuse as a topic should be tackled in our schools, right from basic through to primary to secondary level to even tertiary. Because abuse doesn't just happen in our schools; it happens in our homes, even in churches. There's abuse all over the place.
That's spiritual abuse.
My next place on rape. Yeah. Because now I want to talk about in the book I spoke about this at the level of children. Now I want to talk about this at the level of adults. And the research I'm making on this topic, it's revealing. Like, I'm getting to know that this happens in so many ways that people don't even take observation of. And how our society has been made to look like. Anytime someone is abused, the abuse rather becomes mocked. We mock the victim, so other victims are not able to come out to talk about the abuse. And the way we've been able to we've been made to perceive sexual abuse, it's so wrong as a society. We always say that we always ask ourselves, what did you do to make you abuse? But the victim didn't do anything. Even if they were in short skirt, they didn't do anything. We should always try to place the blame on the perpetrator, not on the victim. But we live in a society where we're always shifting blames on victims, and eventually this canker keeps going on.
What is the play?
Come again?
The rape play that you are writing.
Yeah.
When are you showing it?
A date hasn't been said yet, but it's very soon.
Wow.
Yeah.
What is your next project?
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
So all the play. Okay, sorry.
I often want to talk about things that people don't want to talk about. That's why early on I told you that I spoke about LGBT.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that writers have this responsibility of awakening the conscience of society. So as a writer, anytime you're about to stage your work, or anytime you're about to publish your work, people should be put on their toes. So writers should be able to put governments on their toes. They should be able to put anybody who is not doing right in society, they should be able to put them on their toes. And that's what I think that as a writer I should be able to do. Yeah.
When you guys are done with your play, why don't you record it? It's like
they're recorded.
So is it out? Can we buy it? Can we?
For us, we do live streaming from time to time, intermittently.
Okay.
Yeah, we try to do a live stream so that those who couldn't watch it, then, and even on the day that the play is being staged, we do a live stream.
Okay.
So those who are not able to come to the theater can still watch it wherever.
Because it's like, oh, you were staging your man.
Yeah, but we don't do that. We live stream our plays.
You show it.
Yeah, and after it has been staged, we also still do a playback.
Okay.
For people to still see it.
Great interview. Please tell Kobe that I want to get in touch with him, or should get in touch with you either ways, because he's one of the people I want to connect with. May God use him greatly. From Reverend Albert Seth Okran on the Spintex Road. Thank you very much. I'm going to be asking you to put out a number, or perhaps somewhere we can find your goods, especially even the Enyonyam story.
Yeah.
I want to appreciate the Lord. Okay, is it above? Okay. Whoa, sorry, I couldn't trace it. Okay, Fifi, assemble. But when parents are able to come sincerely before your children about their own struggles in the youthful stage and let them know the sexual feelings are natural but controllable, will hardly get them to open up about their current struggles too. Well, that's your point here. Interesting. That sexual feelings and sins are better dealt with on the platform of wisdom, not just via prayer. Sexual abuse, they make marriage some way and now grow. Okay, about the world standard is what Christ demands of us, and we can't but appreciate you the more. God bless you, Nya. This is Jonas Crying. Okay, I mean, hey, this topic sounds like one that needs more avenues to discuss, but I'm excited particularly because of all that you have shared, and you are working towards curb it or create awareness so we can deal with it, and I appreciate you for it. Right? How do we find you after here? Where is your book? How can we buy? How can we connect with you?
So I'm on all social media platforms as Covenansa. Yes, so from Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, everywhere, Covenansa. And the books that we just spoke about, you can find them on Book Nook Store. Yeah, so Book Nook Store. So just Google Book Nook Store. You can grab your copies there. And also in all AGCM bookstores, we are putting them there very soon. So you can also find copies there. Yeah.
What's AGCM?
Sorry, Assemblies of God. Assemblies of God bookshops.
Okay, Assemblies of God bookshop. And then you mentioned about Book Nooks.
Yeah, Book Nook Store. So Book Nook is BOOKNOOK store. Book Nook Store.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think anyone who wants copies can also contact me directly. Can I put my number out, please?
Do you want to?
Yes, I don't mind.
Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, so anyone who wants copies can kindly call 024 375 2793. 024 375 2793.
That's Kobna, sir.
Yes,
and
please.
To note, the Kobna is Fanti Kobna.
Yeah.
Is
Kobina.
yes,
Answer.
Kobna. Yes.
Yeah.
Answer, please. And the answer is
ANSAH.
AH. Okay, so Kobna answer has been my guest this morning. How do you cast for your play?
I audition.
Ah,
Yeah, but sometimes too, I do observe talents.
okay.
So sometimes people don't need to go to audition. I just see them singing and I think that this person is good for my place.
Wow.
And I just pick them.
Where would I fit in your next play? Certainly not the one who will do that.
Well, yeah, you can fit somewhere.
Somewhere.
You
Yeah, pass up by. But I want to commend you for the good work you're doing. Sometimes
you.
the impact doesn't look like what you're seeing now. I mean, I've a lot of people who are tuning in and sending messages, and this education will go a long way to bless the society, bless the nation. Yeah. This one says, greetings to Covenant. So tell him my children and I are looking to the next Inyam series from Richard Animan.
Yeah, he got copies.
Okay, that's good. I mean, let's patronize this. Buy it as gift, okay? And even, give to people. Let them read, and let's encourage the culture of reading. I tell my children all the time, look, a lot has been hidden in these writings.
Yeah.
Someone's experience, you could get it like that just by reading.
Yeah. In a few minutes.
Yeah. I mean, my mother made sure I would read.
That's great.
And today I'm on radio speaking, read, So let's, I know sometimes, technology and all these phone stuff, Charlie, sometimes more fun talk.
Yeah.
Get them a book to read. When my children read books, I come back to ask them to summarize it.
Yeah.
Or tell me what they learned in the book. In a way, write it and let me have, not just, verbalize it, And I think that I'm grooming something in them.
Definitely. I tell people that you need to have a personal library. Anytime we talk about libraries, look, we see that it's something somewhere.
I know, right?
But we should be able to have personal libraries. And building a personal library is an intentional effort. Just buying books one after the other. Gradually, you're building a library.
Yeah.
Together as a family. Sometimes just put the TV off and read. You see, and it's going to encourage so much as a family. It's going to build bond. It's going to help us open our minds and all that. Yeah, so
you're right.
Reading is great, and we should
learned
try
that
to.
Those days, I mean, my father has a library. I mean, make sure when you're going to meet someone, the person is not there. You don't go and sit there and be looking around. Read something.
Read.
Don't sit in the bar, and sleep or be playing game. Read something, And so thank you. If you haven't heard anything this morning, we heard that we say read. Because readers are leaders.
Yeah.
And it makes a lot of sense for you to read the right materials. Parents, you've had this. Well, this is recorded. It's on our Facebook page on Joy 99.7. Please go play it back. Call Kobnansa. Thank him for what he's doing for humankind. And also get the books, okay? Get it and share it abroad. Let people get it, okay? Bros, thank you so very
Thanks
much
for having me too. I'm so grateful.
To be here. I really appreciate you. Family, so when you hear that I'm on stage active, God fool me on. God bless you. And shouts to your wife, Ellen. God bless her as well.
Amen.
For co-authoring with you.
Amen.
You're doing great, and we celebrate you.
Thank you.
Family, that's how we end this week's edition of App Close here on Joy 99.7. We appreciate you for company. God bless you. My name is Fifi Folson, the Christocentric guy. I'm asking God's grace to see you through every life's race with an extra pace no enemy can chase. Oliver, thank you for producing the show. It's a wrap.